Ok. Merge? Merge microfonul. Ok, salut, bine, suntem live. Super, hei, salutare, bună seara. Good evening, but not good night. Well, great. I just have to set up my YouTube stream just a bit. So for now, I'm just gonna copy this and send it to someone, and then everything's gonna be alright. Yep, everything is gonna be alright. Okay. No, hi. What's wrong? Merge foarte greu netul sau? Ok. Oh man. Give me the stream. Okay. I'm gonna share this with my wife, because she's the only one, my only true fan and lover. So yeah, I'm gonna delete this and edit this. I need to edit it to go live on YouTube and change the thumbnail because it's just a standard thumbnail. And yeah, and that's it. So from private we go public. And we are live, even on YouTube. Great. Now let's see Twitch. Editing. What? No, what editing? Okay. So maybe at some point we will even go right. Well, let's see. Okay, now live. Just to see the chat on the phone, I'm gonna leave my phone right there so that I can see my chat. I haven't managed to bring my chat onto the screen yet, but maybe in time we will. Okay. I really hope everything's fine. I can't see. It's my screen is black, so it's like this. It's just, oh, something's bad. What is it? What could it be? Why can't I see how the stream is going? Actually, you know what? I can see the Twitch. Yeah, so that's probably the best idea. Maybe I should open this. Oh boy. I just want to see this. You won't let me. It won't let me. Well, chat, if you have something to say, I'm here. I'm here for you. Right, so we're just starting. Great. It's just that I can't fully mute my phone, and that is not actually I can mute my phone. I cannot mute the YouTube app like I can in chat. It doesn't have a mute option for the app. So yeah, good, great. I have one viewer, and I think that viewer is me. So yeah, but I can disable this preview. I can use the low latency toggle under the advanced menu in settings to disable low latency. Oh, maybe that's why my games. Maybe. Poate că de. Ok, so o să fie un pic confuză treaba, dar imediat trecem la altele. Ok, ci că nu îl iau.
Un pic pay attention. Unii ziceau că e antitrampistă. Da. De-aia eu dedicat premiul ăsta. De cât de antitrampistă este.
Da, asta nu sunt eu, da? Da, chiar vreau să văd asta cu ciorile sau păsările. Unde se duc păsările din Red Dead Redemption? Deci chiar e o chestie care nu-i pasă probabil nimănui. Și totuși, eu sunt curios de ea. Toată lumea vorbește de politică, de ce se întâmplă în lume, acum e la modă să faci lucrul ăsta. Eu încerc să-mi păstrez reținerea, pentru că cine trăiește și nu este în politică și în lumea aceasta care e condusă de putere, hai că mă aud cu dublură și să dau asta mai încet. Lumea care e condusă de putere și simte că a făcut ceva numai prin simplu fapt că e în parlament sau că conduce alți oameni pe niște bani și ăsta e scopul vieților, pentru mine nu este și nu prefer să rămân, să spunem, neutru. Pentru că ambele tabere încearcă și stânga, și partea de stânga, și partea de dreapta, și cei cu o viziune și cei cu altă viziune. Unii chiar doar încearcă să facă oameni simpli, mă refer, nu alte forme de oculte și puteri. Dar oamenii simpli, în general, încearcă să facă bine. Sunt oameni cu familii, care au trecut prin dificultăți, care au anumite percepții asupra unor lucruri, dar ei cred că așa e bine, cum zic ei, și partea de stânga și partea de dreapta. Iar ceea ce s-a întâmplat a fost o dezbinare, chiar și între cele, dacă până acum se mai înțelegeau, mă, da, ok, ai altă te lasă în pace. Acum nu mai e așa, acum, ce, ești din ăla, gata, tu ești ăla care, nu știu cum, ești rău, ești... Și eu nu consider că este chiar așa. Prefer să fiu neutru, să n-am apartenențe politice. Eu consider că oamenii ar trebui să se lase conduși de bunătatea care este în ei și ce le dictează binele din ei. Da? Trebuie să ai credință. Dacă nu ai credință, te lași purtat. Poți să afirmi că nu ai credință, dar asta nu înseamnă că nu crezi în ceva. Faptul că te trezești dimineața și răsare soarele, ești convins că soarele este acolo, într-un fel sau altul. Știi că a răsărit și că îl vezi și că... și dacă ești prizonier, crezi că ești prizonier, chiar dacă crezi că nu ești liber, dar crezi în ceva. Deci toată lumea crede în ceva. Nu există nu cred sau cred în nimic. Pentru că viața ta e dovada inexistenței nimicului. Adică, da, este o dublă negație. Da? Așa văd eu lucrurile, în un fel sau altul. Da. Hai că vorbesc prea mult. Poate nu prost, dar câteodată vorbesc un pic cam mult. Ok. Hai să dăm. Și, bineînțeles, pe nimeni nu o să intereseze la ce mă uit în momentul ăsta aici. Da, prefer să mă uit la tipul ăsta care urmărește păsări în Red Dead Redemption 2. Să vadă unde se duc. Că nimeni nu să vezi, își pune întrebări pe care nimeni nu și le-a pus. Într-un joc. Păi unde se duc păsările din jocul cu tare? Ce se întâmplă cu ele? What happens with those birds? So, da. De-aia și titlul este Having a Nice Evening. No, just feeling it. No? Fără încrâncenări, fără... Dacă îmi vine să mă uit la video ăsta, o să mă uit. Dacă o să vină să fac altceva, să fac altceva. Dacă are cineva o recomandare pe Twitch, pe YouTube, că numai pe astea două acum fac streaming, deocamdată, poate la un moment dat o să fac și pe TikTok, că ar fi fain să pot să fac și lucrul ăsta. Atunci, da, atunci e cu totul altceva. Dacă are cineva o recomandare, adică pot să mă uit. Atunci chiar aș putea să las de la mine și să mă uit la ce propune altcineva sau la ce ar vrea altcineva să ne uităm. Sau... Da, deci sunt deschis la oportunități, la propuneri. Da? Încerc să vorbesc și eu cât mai mult cum fac streamerii ăștia de ani de zile, cu experiență de ani de zile, și vorbesc într-una fără să se oprească și ai impresia că chiar zic ceva și de fapt nu zic nimic. Exact cum fac eu acum de vreo 5 minute. Știi? Da. Așa că, da. Dar nu-mi pasă. Acum, astăzi mă simt așa. Astăzi mă simt așa și așa o să mă simt în continuare. Și nu poate nimeni să facă nimic decât dacă îmi scrie și mie cineva într-un coment ceva. Sau pur și simplu nu și e ok și așa. This is me today. Where I'll be tomorrow, I don't know. But today, this is me.
Or whatever, and you watch the birds just get up, go over
Oh.
some trees, and disappear forever. But they can't actually
Un pic
disappear
cam tare.
forever. I mean, they could, but like if we
Ok.
followed one of
Cred
these
că
birds
acum e
and
bine.
tracked its flight path, it must go somewhere, right?
Pare bine că
obviously,
văd
when I first had this idea,
volumele.
I
Eu
immediately went to go try it
nu
out.
mi-aud
With
vocea, eu
ducks,
doar
I
văd
walked
volumele
close
și
enough to
atunci e
them to
ok.
make them fly away, and then I tried to chase them down. It did not.
Adică, uite, dacă la un moment dat o să vină să cânt, am aici, îmi deschid aplicația și pot să cânt. Și simplu, frumos, elegant. Nice.
Go well. Wait, where'd they go? Where did they go? Did they disappear? This is going to be a little bit harder than I thought, right? Because these ducks, they're pretty fast, and Arthur Morgan, the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption 2, is pretty slow, especially when he's swimming. So what I tried to do next was to shoot at the ducks to get them to fly away, which would mean I could run along with them without having to swim. Oh,
Oh.
there they go.
Oh,
This
oh,
time, the duck flew up,
fugi,
went in a
du-te.
little circle, and then turned
Okay.
east and flew towards the nearby river. I did my best to follow them, but unfortunately, movement in this game is really annoying for this activity, and I just kept tripping and falling down cliffs or running out of stamina, and then I would lose track of them. So, we're gonna need a different strategy. Since the main issue here was tripping and falling off of cliffs, my first
Nice.
thought was to find a place on the map that's nice
Scuze.
and flat, easy to run through with good sight lines. I think our best bet is going to be the Heartland Overflow, which is a pretty open area with a nice little pond. After just a minute of walking around, I found this beautiful bird right out in the open,
Ooh,
and when I ran
pheasant.
up to it, it took off right in
Pheasant.
front of me. This is perfect. I sprinted after it full speed, doing my best to keep the camera angled up so I could see if it disappeared, which is really annoying, but that's just how the game is. But then, just as things were getting good, some idiot decided to build
Okay.
a house in the middle of my running path.
Yeah, right. Da.
And as much as I tried to weave through the property, as soon as I lost sight of the bird behind the house, it was gone. That actually went pretty well for it being the first bird we followed in this area. So I figured what I would do is just keep finding these birds, track them as far as I could, and then map out all of their flight paths to see if we can notice any like patterns in the way that they behave. My ultimate goal is to be able to follow one of these birds until it lands somewhere new.
So-
But until that happens, gathering some general flight path data seems like a good use of time. And I
Yeah.
love being efficient about the way I use my time.
Mhm.
Speaking of efficient, when I need to be extremely efficient with my time, one
Yeah,
of the
right.
first things I do is order a box of Factor meals to keep in my fridge. Welcome to the sponsorship. Let me describe
Factor
for you exactly
meals.
why I like
Mamă,
having
ăsta
Factor
primește pe
meals
gratis,
on
mă.
hand. And this is all true. Factor delivers these individually packaged meals to your door that you can take and heat up in less than 3 minutes. And it's extremely convenient. And the food
Wow.
is solid. It's a lot better than you would expect, honestly. Like when I first saw them, I'm not gonna say that, that's rude, but it's good. So when a box of Factor shows up at my door and I put them in my fridge, I get to rest easy the whole week knowing that if I need to work a little longer on a video or if I get distracted following birds in Red Dead Redemption 2, I won't
Okay.
end up under eating or eating junk food out of necessity. I just grab one of their
Alright.
meals, toss it in a pan, and it's
Yeah.
ready and tasty within 5 or 10 minutes. As always, I will remind
Asta
you
îmi
that
face
you do
foame.
not need to heat your Factor meals in a pan like this. I
Da,
just choose
de ce trebuie să prezint? Deci nu e. Eu nu fac reclamă la asta. Trebuia să dau mai în față. De ce n-am dat? Mi-e foame? Cred că mi-e foame. Da, cred că asta e singura explicație pe care o am. Alta n-am.
to do it because they taste a little better. If you want, head to Factor75. Free shipping. That code. Get the first. Anyway, let's map out the scatter
Yeah, ok.
of some birds. Okay, first up, I found some more ducks. Just like the other ones, all of them scattered at once and started flying in circles. For the most part, they stayed together, but eventually they started splitting off, and I followed 2 of them eastward. For a while, they just flew straight, but then they kept on flying straight, before flying straight some more, and then straight some more. You get the picture. And then they flew off the eastern edge of the map without landing anywhere, so that's kind of interesting. Near where I lost track of those ducks, there was some kind of egret, so I figured I would would do
Hey,
that egret
Greta.
next. And initially, it
Egret.
seemed like this one was following the shoreline of the river, so I thought I might be able to follow it for a bit, but then it too eventually turned east and went off the edge of the map. Okay, we might be starting to see a pattern. Not sure yet. Back in the heartland, I caught another bird that took off and flew in circles for a bit. I forgot to record that part, but just trust me. And then it turned and
Yeah.
headed east towards the same general place that all of the other birds we've looked at have gone. I lost track of this one a little bit early because I got held up swimming through a river.
So
but if
the
you
birds
project its
fly
path
east.
forward, it goes in the exact same direction as the rest
Interesting.
of them. Now, this is a pretty small sample size, all from a pretty small area, but the one thing I do find interesting about it is that every bird we've
Yeah.
followed so far flies indefinitely. None of them have landed, and all the ones we were able to follow long enough flew off the edge of the map, presumably
Right.
until they stopped existing entirely, right? Have you ever been so scared that you wanted to run away until you stopped existing?
Nope.
I had. Anyway, I followed a few more
Yeah.
birds, and this is what happened, okay? The first ones did like an
had.
S-turn and then took off to the northeast before I lost them over the mountains. The next one almost went straight east, so I thought it might be heading towards the same place as the first few that we saw, but then they quickly turned north, and I lost track of them again. And then the last one, this one really gets a gold star.
Okay.
I scared up a weird bunch of ducks, and then they all took off, and at first, they more or less stayed together, but gradually they went south and then kind of started peeling off.
Deci până acum nu e nimic concludent. Unele s-au dus spre est, altele s-au dus spre sud. Dar nimic concludent. Unele spre nord, poate. Da, est.
From one another. I kept with a couple of them that started doing circles and flying all over the place, and it was tough to keep an eye on all of them, but I managed to keep following a single duck which broke off and started heading west. That's new. And where did this duck go?
West.
Take a guess. This duck went west and west and west and then northwest and then northwest. It passed over the plains. It flew into the rugged hills. It went north a little bit into the town of Valentine. It sailed over the river valley, and then I slipped down a mountain and I couldn't keep following it, so I lost him. By far, the farthest any single bird flew in all of my data collection, nearly half the horizontal length of the upper portion of the map, and he just flew off into the setting sun behind the mountains. My assumption is that,
Nice.
just like the rest of them, this duck never landed and just kept going indefinitely. And that seems to be the main thing that ties all of these birds together. If you scare them, they fly up, they sort of do a few natural-looking loops and swoops, and then they just pick a direction and exit stage right. So my next question is that what real birds do when you scare them? Obviously, they don't literally fly forever till they disappear, but in general, right? Now, it turns out we've actually studied this pretty extensively, especially when it comes to mallard ducks, because people like to hunt mallard ducks, and knowing the behavior of an animal you're hunting is helpful for hunting them. The distance...
Right. Let me just put the Twitch up here so that I can see. Yeah. So quality. I don't want. I don't want quality. Oh, I just. Yeah. Ah. Excellent. Right. Now I. Great. Yeah. Much better.
A duck flies after being startled is called the flush distance, meaning if you flush them out, how far do they go? Unsurprisingly, this distance can vary a lot, and studies have shown average flight distances from 200 meters all the way up to 4.
Yeah, just bear with me. I just need for this to go here, because it seems like I'm looking off. So, yeah. It's much better here. It is much better here than it was the other side around. Yes, yes. I am Borat. Oh boy. Done. Yeah. Okay.
and
Go.
a half kilometers depending on a bunch of different factors. One of those factors is how you startle the duck, because startling a duck by walking slowly up to it causes it to fly a lot less far than startling it with gunshots. Naturally, I wanted to see if that was true in Red Dead 2 as well, and obviously it's not. The same exact thing happens if you walk up to them as if they're startled with guns. They fly up, they sometimes do some circling or performing, and then they take off in one direction forever. But there's an obvious issue here, right? The observer effect. All of these ducks were startled by and being followed by a sprinting weirdo. So the next question ends up being, if they're not startled and followed, do the birds ever land? Do the already flying birds go anywhere? Well, let's look at some more data that I collected. In general, birds that you see in the sky in Red Dead 2 have slightly more localized movements than those that you scare and follow. For example, I followed some vultures and hawks, and they do
E așa tare tipul ăsta, intră în atâtea detalii. Deci, intră în detalii, adică acum a studiat vulturii și s-a gândit el că, băi, s-ar putea să fie o legătură între... Da.
do a lot of slow
Respect,
circling
fine.
and meandering around, but if you watch them long enough, it did seem like eventually they all did just choose to pick a direction, fly off into it, and then disappear, right? And then there are smaller birds like this cardinal. These birds are hard to follow because they're really quick and small, but I tried my best, and even those birds eventually seemed like they got sick of being watched and then just flew off into a distance until I lost track of them. Also, look at how weird this looks, by the way. It looks like this cardinal is just like shrinking in front of the tree. I don't know why that happened. Now, interestingly, the Red Dead 2 map is really, it's like 12 kilometers wide, and your average mallard duck can fly for hundreds of miles, especially in good conditions. So flying from one end of the map to the other isn't physically impossible for these ducks by any means. But birds like a cardinal, these smaller birds, tend to stay literally within a few miles of where they were born for their entire lives. They don't migrate, and I wonder if that's why
Okay.
the cardinal we saw in Red Dead sort of seemed to shrink and disappear a lot closer, rather than actually sort of flying off the map physically. One thing that's really interesting about learning all of these bird facts is that finding an ultimate source on them is surprisingly difficult. When I research things like hydrology or electrical engineering, there's usually a really well-documented lineage from modern knowledge to some book or study that was published in the last century. But with bird facts, you
Okay.
always just end up on a website called like birdsareamazing.com, and then it has a little blurb that states a bunch of facts about cardinals, and you just kind of have to take it for granted because it doesn't seem like the type of thing someone would lie about. Take, for example, this fact. Mallard ducks can fly upwards of 800 miles in a single flight. I found that fact via Google, and then I followed the source back to this website, ducks.org. Great name for a website. Now, that sounds pretty
Okay.
official, and I have no reason to doubt it, but from that point, there's no actual source on this website. It just begins and ends
Oh.
here. In order to go deeper, you have to really dig around until you start
Da, n-ar fi bine ca toți care scriu documentare de genul ăsta sau să scrie și sursa de unde au luat, adică din profesorul cu tare cartea nu știu care. Da, sau, nu știu, studiu din cadrul colegiului nu știu cum, sau o chestie genul ăsta. Adică cred că se poate să pui acolo, sau măcar un mic link, știi? Na. Source, sau, da, și te duce direct pe wiki sau la alt.
learning about things like
Just saying.
VHF radio telemetry or satellite tracking, and then you can use those terms to Google more things, which might lead you to the Wikipedia page about the history of bird tracking. And then if you read it and follow the sources, you'll find that bird tracking was first done by someone named Mr. Audubon in the 1800s. But then there's no source on that even on the Wikipedia page. So then you have to go back to Google, and if you're lucky, you'll eventually find this website from the Audubon Society of North Carolina.
Deci
which
ca să vezi cât a lucrat băiatul ăsta numai ca să se intereseze niște păsări, ca să vadă unde se duc păsările din joc, dacă este sau nu corect. Dacă au băgat detaliile în joc corect sau nu. Băi, da.
tells the story of how they put anklets on birds in the 1800s, but that story doesn't have a source. But that article mentions the species of birds that was studied. So if you Google that species of birds in combination with things like study and experiment and Audubon, you'll end up on this website for the American Ornithological Society, which mentions that these experiments were chronicled in a book called The Ornithological Biography by Mr. Audubon. And
Băi, lasă ce s-a dus omul de mai era un pic și nu zice. Mamă,
And if you
ok.
go to your local library, you can find that that book exists as a reference text and that only the library itself is allowed to look at it. And that's the source of this fact on birds.org. A dusty old book in a room at my local library. Now, the reason I wanted to
Aha. Interesant.
share that with you is because I wanted to remind you that knowledge isn't ephemeral. It exists in a moment where someone decided to try something.
Dar dacă el s-a dus la librărie să studieze despre păsări, a găsit lucrul ăla, după care s-a gândit el, bă, a mai scris cineva oare despre chestia asta? Și a văzut că n-a scris decât un site care așa și nu a făcut source și dacă e de fapt invers și nu cum ne-a prezentat el povestea. Și după aia a venit ideea aia să facă aia. N-ar fi tare să fac asta în joc și să zic că mă interesează și de fapt să-i fac pe oameni mai inteligenți? De-aia și-a pus clipsurile alea în păr.
And learn from it and then write it down. And knowing about those moments is key to learning to navigate the world and, apparently, to learning about Red Dead Redemption 2's birds. At the end of my entire exploration, I decided to follow a few more birds for good measure, and just like in every other instance, none of them ever landed. This felt odd to me. I could swear I'd seen birds land in Red Dead 2 before. I would have honestly bet money on it, but no matter what I tried, I couldn't seem to make it happen here. I'm also curious about how the birds select a path to fly away on, because if you look at the paths we traced, several of them seem to lock into almost the exact same direction. Maybe there's like a preset number of options or something, I'm not sure. Maybe it's random. Now, what I want to know is, does Rockstar Games know that when you scare birds in their game, they just get up and fly off into the distance forever? Surely they do. They made the game. But I don't know. I guess I'm just
Oare? Oare chiar știu?
curious. So if
Do
you know anyone
they-
at Rockstar, tell them to email me.
Do
I'm in
they
Austin. Thanks
really
for
know
watching.
that? Ok. Da. Ce? Yeah.
If I play Red Dead Redemption 2
Okay.
on this,
Ok.
would it be just as immersive as if I play Red Dead Redemption 2
Ah.
on this? Let's think about that.
Păi, interesant. Îi dă feeling-ul ăla de vechi, dar nu se mai vede mai nimic, adică...
This is a 13-inch Sony Trinitron from 2002. This is a 42-inch something
LG Evo,
from now,
ok.
and it was very expensive. Pop quiz. How many pixels does your 4K television have? Time's up. Your 4K television has 8,294,400 pixels. I didn't know I had that many of anything. The Sony Trinitron here only has 307,200 pixels, which means
Okay.
you would need to add up 27 of these CRTs to get as many pixels as the 4K TV,
Da, vezi, deci nu se vede, nu ai claritatea aia.
which, if you kept the same pixel density as my small TV, would require a CRT screen 70 inches diagonally. All of that does make it sound like a modern game, like Red Dead Redemption 2, should probably be played on one of these modern TVs for maximum immersion. But should doesn't mean must. Now, in order
Yeah,
to do this,
okay.
we're going to need to find a way to
Și-a
get
pus ecranul ăla la filmat de aproape să vadă pixelii ăia individuali.
the HDMI signal that's coming out of my Xbox Series X to turn into a component video signal that I can put into my Sony Trinitron. And I went with this little dongle, which I purchased on Amazon. I think it cost about $30. You plug the HDMI cable into it, and component video comes out of it. Simple. I like simple. Let's play some Red Dead 2 on a CRT.
Hai. Deci a luat un splitter, ceva, care a transformat din HDMI în DVR sau DVI.
Right off the bat, it's clear that playing games on a CRT comes with one huge advantage: the noise that the CRT makes when you turn it on. It's just so
Dunk.
good. Once I actually got into the game, I was greeted with this. Now, the actual picture on a CRT is really lovely. It's very soft and pleasant, and it kind of has a built-in anti-aliasing effect that really glues any images on it together nicely. It's tough to capture the quality of looking at a CRT screen with a camera, and we'll discuss that more later, but trust me when I say that it actually looks surprisingly nice for being ostensibly low resolution. There is an immediate issue, though. The aspect ratio is totally squished. Red Dead Redemption 2 is supposed to look like this, but
Da.
because this old TV has a 4:3 aspect ratio
Așa.
rather than a 16:9 aspect
Right.
ratio, it looks like this. We'll have
Oh.
to wait and see if that actually ends up bothering us while we play. Another
Not
fun
quite.
quirk-
Nu cred că e atât de mare diferența. Da, uite, la ceas se vede, da. La ceas se vede că e mai
the
lunguieț.
CRT is that a pretty significant portion of the edges of the screen are cut off from view due to something called overscanning, meaning that anything the game displays on the edges of the screen are totally invisible to me, including a lot of the HUD, which contains a lot of important information. The game does have a HUD safe zone setting you can adjust to remedy this. Shout out to Rockstar for that, but even at its most extreme, it still doesn't quite bring everything into view. Now, full disclosure, part of the reason for these things happening is that I didn't spend any time actually researching what separates a low quality HDMI
Da, exact. Păi trebuie să vezi ce splitter faci convertorul ăla. Dacă nu e bun, nu o să ai ce trebuie. Pur și simplu o să-ți ia imaginea și ți-o taie și atât. Pe când altele rescalează.
converter dongle from a high quality HDMI converter dongle, which is totally hypocritical of me because I'm always telling you guys that there are two things in life you should never skimp on: HDMI to component
Și schimb. Da. Cele mai importante lucruri în viață. Deci astea. Să nu îți iei un converter de ăsta de slabă calitate. Aia e cea mai importantă.
converter boxes and underpants like these. These are called
okay.
MeUndies, and
Ei! Ok. Hai, mai are mult cu chiloții. Ce?
your dick and balls look larger, apparently. Not that they need to. I do not personally care how big your dick and balls do or don't look. They just told me I could promote that because it's almost Valentine's Day. So I figured I would jump on the opportunity to say that to you, just between me and you. As per usual, I will not be doing any
Hai, lasă mai.
right now and at MeUndies. Score huge site-wide savings at MeUndies.com/AnyAustin.
Hi, no.
Enter. I get, well, kind of. It's really the inside out. Once I got the technical settings
Bun.
as squared away as I could, I worked my way through the early hours of Red Dead Redemption 2, and honestly, this is the thing that surprised me the most. It didn't feel that much different than the first time when I played through it on 4K TV. Obviously, I
Oare? Mă, că se vede foarte ciudat, adică pe bune. Cine s-ar juca așa pe un televizor de ăsta? Am și eu câteva. Și acum mă bate gândul să mă joc pe așa ceva. Sau să cumpăr un convertor din ăla și să pun un monitor în spate cu Da, și de-aia am păstrat televizoarele alea vechi. Ta-da!
ran into the
Revenim.
occasional snag where a button prompt would appear off screen and I would have to guess what I was supposed to press, which occasionally led me to accidentally punching my horse.
Oop.
Not good. And sometimes the text was a little bit hard to read, but for the most part, after about 5 minutes, I kind of didn't even register what kind of TV I was playing on. I was just playing a video game, which is why we do it. In a funny way, it kind of reminded me of playing old video games, ones that ran in really low resolutions or had terrible frame rates. I was recently playing the game Super Metroid on my little TV, and I was just astounded at how immersive it was, given how little it was working with. It's kind of hard to describe, especially for people who primarily play modern 3D reality-based video games, but when you play a lot of an old game like Super Metroid, it's just as immersive as playing Red Dead 2. In both cases, you feel like you're in the game somehow, which is astounding technically, because Super Metroid came out in 1994 and it took 15 people 2.5 years to make. It runs at effectively
Da.
240p and the game is less than 3 megabytes in size.
Mamă, 3 megabiți? Un joc care să aibă 3 megabytes? Făcut de 15 oameni în 2 ani jumate? Cât de tare e chestia asta? Și ai aceeași senzație că te joci un joc, da? Chit că are 100 de giga sau 3 mega,
Whereas
nu?
Red Dead
Îți se joacă un pic, îți creează așa o... Da, bravo, bravo. Bravo ție, cum te cheamă? Annie Austin. Bravo ție, Annie Austin. Really nice. Really nice. Cool. Thumbs up. Yeah.
Redemption 2 came out in 2018. It took a team of 1,600 people over
1600 de oameni. 8 ani.
8 years to make. It runs at up to a 4K resolution, and it's 120 gigabytes in size. If
120 de giga. Scuze.
you represented the total man hours put into Super Metroid as its SNES cartridge, the total man hours put into Red Dead Redemption 2 would be the size of my front door. That's how big the technological
Wow.
difference is between these games, and yet both games are immersive. I feel like I was in Red Dead 2. I feel like I was in Super Metroid. Anyway, at this point, I was basically just playing and enjoying Red Dead 2, same as I ever did. I was hunting and walking through the mountains and enjoying the sunrises
Nice.
and accidentally robbing people because I couldn't read which button prompt was greet and which one was rob.
You got any money left?
You got any money
You know,
left?
that was really the thing that kept coming up while playing through it on this little TV. Anytime I was interacting with other NPCs, I kind of had to just guess what button I was supposed to press or look it up online, and sometimes I would still get it wrong. Now, I'm not trying to be dismissive of this as being an annoyance, but I will say this. Have you ever enjoyed a board game? You know what board games don't have? Button prompts. You have to figure it out and look it up, and sometimes you get the rules wrong. So that's my argument for why it's not that
Oops.
big of a deal. Hopefully you accept.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
sort of like when I made the argument that graphics don't matter because books don't have good graphics, but I stand by that. Now the real
Nu chiar. Da, mă rog, da, înțeleg ce vrea să zică, da, da. Grafica nu contează, cărțile n-au grafică bună, nu? Dacă te gândești. Dar oare e discutabilă. Mamă, ce discutabilă e asta.
annoyance for me in this whole experience was trying to find a good way to get footage of the game on CRT so I could accurately display it for you, because the game looks really good on the tube. Now, the trade-off is that it's really hard to capture what a CRT screen really looks like with a camera. Anyone who grew up with a CRT knows that if you try to film it, you get this flickering effect,
Yeah.
and that flickering is the result of the camera's shutter speed not matching up with the TV screen's refresh rate, which is the amount of
Da.
times per second the TV is redrawing its own image. This
Corect, da, da. Cam cum se întâmplă cu... Nu știu dacă chiar merge acum la mine. E un mic flicărit aici în spate, la lampă, nu știu dacă se vede la lampa... Stai, cum să arăt? Nu, aici. Unde? Aici? Aici. Deci la lampa asta. Un mic flicăric. Da, pentru că becul acela la frecvența aia se aprinde. Și atunci, dacă potrivești frecvența cu care înregistrezi, pac, flicăre, ai flicăriri. Și la neon se întâmplă asta și la mai multe, nu numai la televizoare.
This particular CRT has a 60 Hz refresh rate, which means that it's redrawing the image 60 times every second. So if I set my camera shutter speed to something like 125, it'll be mismatched, and you get this flicker, or this ominous black bar. If we take a slow motion video, we can actually see the image being drawn pixel by pixel, which is pretty cool. Now, one of the things we can do to mitigate this is to set the camera's shutter speed to 60, which should sync it up with the 60 Hz of the TV and make that flickering go away, which it mostly does. The other issue with CRTs is that a camera can see all the individual pixels really well, whereas our eyeballs don't, which makes the image show up really pixely in the footage, even though it's not in real life. Check out all these pixels. One way we can mitigate that is to slightly defocus the lens so that it softens the image, which kind of works, but just trust me when I say that the footage you're seeing doesn't quite look as nice as it does when I'm playing it. And also shout out to YouTube channel Orange Wall for this video about how to film a CRT. So the
Nice.
actual vibes of the game aren't generally affected by the old TV, and I think that's really cool. It's just kind of these little things around the edges of the gameplay that get a little tricky, like button prompts or seeing characters who are kind of far away. Some of these things you just have to brute force your way through, but other ones just kind of reshape how you engage with the game. For example, it's really hard to see animals if they're more than like 100 feet away from you, which sounds potentially annoying, but really it just means I had to rely on the binoculars more, which meant I got to slow down, take in the environment, and really feel extra immersed. So I actually consider that kind of a net positive. Is that just cope?
Cool.
It might be. On the whole, I would say that based on my experience, you probably get a roughly 50% reduction in the quality of the game 3% of the time if you play it on a 13-inch CRT, which I think is pretty negligible. But let's say we didn't think it was negligible. Let's say we were sufficiently hung up on these little technical niggles that we wanted to find the worst possible quality television we could that wouldn't meaningfully reduce the quality of the experience at all. We know that a giant 4K OLED TV is way too far in one direction and that a 13-inch CRT is a little bit too far in the other direction. So we need a
Great.
TV that's like
In the middle.
here, like
Ah,
two
okay.
steps beyond the 13-inch CRT.
Nu mai
The
las
good
un
news
pic.
is, I was able to find just the perfect TV on Facebook Marketplace. This is a 23-inch 720p LG TV with a single HDMI input. Playing on this TV feels luxurious.
Mm.
Everything is so clear. I can read all the text. The edges of the screen aren't cut off. It was a truly revolutionary experience to play on this thing for the first 20 minutes. But eventually, kind of like I did with the negatives of the CRT, I just kind of got used to all the positives of this fancy HD TV, and it all just became the same. Now, unfortunately for us, the human brain is just really good at normalizing basically anything that isn't directly causing us to die. Your brand new PC
Da.
is probably giving you
Vezi, mă, ăsta vorbește și chestii științifice, frumoase, interesante. Nu totul e despre politică. Nu trebuie să fie totul despre politică. Unii oameni pur și simplu există. Și nu există ca o consecință a politicii. Nu. Pot exista fain, bine mersi, chiar și fără nimic din politică. Tu uite așa, pur și simplu, că existi. Cum a fost și înainte de așa ceva. Dar astea sunt vremurile și ne preocupă pe mulți. Pe mine nu. Pe mine mă preocupă mai mult chestii de-astea. De
out the same amount of joy as your old PC. Your great fancy new job probably feels just about as soul-sucking as your old job, provided, you know, you control for other factors like money. And your fancy new 23-inch 720p TV more or less feels like a 13-inch CRT after just a few minutes or hours of playing it. That seems unfair. You know, we should get permanent joy when we get new fancy things.
Da,
The fancy
sunt de acord
4K
cu el.
games now should give us more
Da.
joy than the crappy games when we were kids. Metroid
Da.
Dread should be way more fun than Super Metroid, but it's not. It's about the same. But there is a solution. All you have to do is buy another bigger TV with higher resolution.
Exact.
And then when you get used to that, you just get another even bigger TV with OLED pixels. And then when you get used to that, you just get a 4K TV with HDR and 120 hertz and so on and so on. You just keep
100... Da,
spending money, which is what we do generally, and it makes the economy go around, and it helps journalists make a living because they can write articles about the e-waste crisis. Obviously,
No.
I'm being a little facetious, kind of, but it is true that we do that. But let me offer another option, okay? Hear me out on this. Here's what you should do. Buy two TVs, a small 720p one, and then a bigger 1080p one. And then
Okay.
anytime you get the hankering for something new, you just switch back and forth between them, going from the big one to the small one.
interesantă idee. Ca să te bucuri mereu de chestia nouă pe care ai făcut-o. Dar ce se întâmplă când creierul face media dintre cele două și zice da, ai făcut asta, dar totuși, ăla, știi. Se obișnuiește la un moment dat creierul și cu partea asta. So, yeah.
One will feel like cute and novel and cozy, and then going from the small one to the big one will feel like this huge immersive upgrade. It's the perfect solution. Now, it might sound like here what I'm saying is, you know, just get a CRT. CRTs are the best. Everything looks great on a CRT. And a lot of people, myself included in the past, have said for years that games built for CRT TVs should really be played on CRTs, and that games built for HD TVs should be played on HD TVs. It sounds reasonable, right? Logical. I don't disagree with this in principle, but in
Okay.
practice, especially based on the experience playing Red Dead 2, I think I'm just advocating for don't worry about it. You can enjoy anything on basically anything. The meaning you derive from playing a video game doesn't come from the hardware you play it on. It comes from the relationship between you and the game itself. And you can choose not to dance with someone because you don't like their outfit, but you know, that's a choice. And it's not even necessarily a bad choice. But it might be. You might miss out on a pretty good dance. Now, full disclosure, as of writing this, I still haven't finished Red Dead 2 on my funny little TV, but I'm playing tons of it, and I'm still enjoying it as much or more than I did the first time, with obviously the sole exception being those 3% of the time where I'm supposed to do something that I can't figure out how to do. But the bulk of the gameplay, the walking around, buying stuff, hunting, doing little quests, it's all perfectly fine. Which means even though I wasn't totally correct that it wouldn't make any difference, I was mostly correct. It didn't make a huge difference. I'm sure if we really sat here and thought about it, we could find exceptions to this. I'm sure there are games, if you tried to play Warzone on a CRT, it would probably be a pretty miserable experience. This isn't a manifesto. I just want you to think about it. That's all. Just give it some thought. The irony of this, of course, is I bought this
Doar un pic.
fancy TV.
Doar un pic așa. Un pic să te gândești la chestiile astea, ca atunci când te mănâncă, știi, pe palma să dai niște bani pe un lucru care crezi că ai neapărat nevoie, poate ar fi bine să nu faci lucrul ăsta. Vezi? Și ne mai ține în frâu un băiat ca ăsta. Da. Ai intrat să-ți iau ceva mâncare. Da, mulțumesc. Da, aș putea să fac cumva să mănânc, da? Cred că trebuie să dau microfonul mai în spate sau ceva, ca să nu mi se audă toate plăscăiturile.
To use as a prop, and now I have a fancy TV. Maybe I'll just return it. Or maybe I'll keep it and be a hypocrite. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to keep it and be a hypocrite.
Ce Tesla bot? Ce? Ți-ai luat soție și gata. Una bună. Da. Mhm. Și acum vrei să mă gândești așa? Las aici. Mhm. Da, o să dau microfonul mai în spate, să mănânc.
Hypocrite. I'm Annie Austin. Thanks for watching.
Da. Fine. Acum o să mă intereseze dacă o să mănânc aici, dacă o să se audă, da? Nu. Dacă se aude, îmi cer scuze. Până atunci, hai să vedem ce am mai scos. Îmi place băiatul ăsta. Hai să-l mai urmărim. Mai urmărim un video și după aia trecem la altceva. Atât. 1. Mai uităm la 1. Power lines, ok. New Vegas has 0. Ok. Uite, putem încerca. Mă, da, dacă primesc copii. De fapt, nu, că el nu. I try to make sense of cyberpunk așa water system. Ok, Mario Kart. Uite, asta cred că e interesantă. Ok, da. Asta cu
On the
cyberpunk.
northern edge of
Da, cred că e interesant. Am voie să zic cyberpunk îmi dă... Nu, cred că e ok. Ia să vedem. Da, mâncare până.
the map in Cyberpunk 2077, you will find this: a highway stretching into the distance beneath a sign that says, "Now leaving Night City." If you try to walk down that road, the game just warps you right back. Same goes for the southern edge of the map. There's a mysterious border checkpoint that prevents you from heading off into the outside world, and if you get too close, immediate death. These 2 points are where Night City ends, and everything the game has to offer, every neon sign, every advertisement, and every incredible NPC is somewhere in between them. But how many people have really laid eyes on everything there is to see on this map? Have any of you guys seen this weird place? Or this giant orb? I didn't think so. So today I'm walking from one end of the map to the other. No fast travel. Just a slow, steady trip through the neglected margins of Cyberpunk 2077. Along the way, I'm gonna stop and show you 11 strange places that I found. Places that feel forgotten, or unremarkable, or just fundamentally odd. These aren't quite places that you're not supposed to go, but they're definitely places you're not supposed to go. You know
Înțeleg. Deci,
what I mean? We're gonna start all the way down south at that border checkpoint I showed you, and the very first place I want to show you is right next to it. The border wall. As you might expect, a giant wall that blocks people from coming or going is not the most inviting piece of infrastructure.
da, vă amintește de ceva? Toate zidul chinezesc, dar nu. America, știi? Da. Build a bigger wall!
And walking along it out into the desert is a very lonely experience. There's almost nothing to look at out here. The wall just stretches on and on and on, and the desert is just an endless collection of shrubbery and dirt. The fact that they let you come out here at all is almost funny to me. When you first get here, there's a very large warning sign telling you not to enter, but as long as you kind of stay back here by the wall itself, it's mostly pretty safe. Why would you have a giant swath of empty land that you don't want the player to go into, and you actively try to kill them if they go into it, but then you still let them go into it? I'm obsessed with places like this. Every once in a while, you'll stumble across a little structure or a car that just sits out here burning forever. If you stick with it long enough, the wall eventually starts to climb up a bit, allowing you to get high enough that you can actually jump and see over it into a strange out-of-bounds lake area. Allegedly, this is California. If you turn and face the other direction, you get a distant view of the city, and if you stick around until it becomes dark, you can really see it come alive. It's almost nostalgic, especially if you've played the game, to realize that all of those little moments you had with it take place in that large glowing mass of metal and light. Also, look closely. That dried up little stream down there is actually going to be something that we stop and look at a little bit later, because it contains my favorite pile of trash in the entire game. I think that's stop number 3 or 4 on our list. First, we have to do stop number 2.
Ce-l face pe băiatul ăsta să facă videouri de genul ăsta? Eu nu... Și cum își găsește puterea să le ducă până la capăt cu ideile astea? Câți urmăritori are? Deci are 1 milion de subscriberi. Și eu nu i-am dat subscribe. Să dau și eu niște din astea, nu? Da. Da. Uite cât de fain e.
The Liminal Space Industrial Farm. Just kidding. Stop number 2 is actually MeUndies. MeUndies is the sponsor of Right In on a billboard in Cyberpunk 2077.
No.
Where every day. Here's a fun fact about MeUndies. Ending to me, you have shirts, but that's how the business works, okay? Anyway, where are we going next?
Bun.
Oh, yeah. The Liminal Space Industrial Farm. Welcome to Biotechnica Farms, a gigantic area of land that is covered in soulless warehouses for farming something. I read online that in the lore they're farming bugs to turn into cheeseburgers, but I don't know if that's actually true. Walking around the crisscrossing roads of this vast collection of buildings is a really strange experience. It's a huge operation with greenhouses as far as the eye can see and gigantic industrial pipes going all over the place, but there is nobody here. It's just a huge, self-sufficient fully automated farm area. Every once in a while, you stumble across a trash can filled with the kind of trash that only humans would make, and there's an abandoned vehicle or two, but aside from those vague hints at life, it's just rows and rows and rows of soulless automated agriculture. It feels like the
Mă întreb oare cât din ce au arătat ei în Cyberpunk va ajunge să fie în viitor. Pentru că unele chiar sunt probabile. Foarte probabile.
The higher-ups at this fictional company just kept laying off people here for efficiency reasons until one day they accidentally laid off the last worker, and then the plant just continued operating automatically via robots, leaving behind little traces of human existence. I walked around here for about half an hour before I stumbled upon this, the only building that could be entered, at least that I found. It's a huge place. It's just an abandoned garage with some unopened boxes. There's a security station that's left unmanned with the screen still on, and this is exactly the type of place I wanted to find today, somewhere that feels half finished, somewhere that it seems like we aren't meant to go, but that we can still go, with things we weren't really meant to look at, but that we can still look at. I highly recommend this place, and we've got a few other excellent places like it on our list, so let's continue. The next place is going to be almost a complete 180 from Biotechnica Farms, way back out over the desert. This is that dried up stream that I mentioned earlier.
Ok.
Now, it may seem like this is no big deal, right? It's just a stream. But when I stumbled across this, I was pretty shocked because Cyberpunk does not seem like a game that would have a stream. I think a big part of that is that the map in this game basically has no topography on it, so it's not easy to see a bird's eye view of any potential valleys or rivers. But also just like the whole aesthetic of the game is the complete opposite of what I would consider a pleasant nature hike. I thought all we'd get for rivers is just a bunch of creepy canals and a like giant still ocean. So when I saw this stream, I was pretty excited. Walking around this little stream is cool in its own right, and I'm genuinely curious where it begins, but instead of going down a hydrology rabbit hole, sorry, I need to show you something that I thought was seriously incredible. A pile of trash. No, I'm not kidding. Cyberpunk is a game full of trash, and most of the trash are these white and blue and black bags just thrown all over the place, including apparently
Nimica diferit de viața reală acum. Dacă iau acum webcam-ul ăsta și vi-l pun pe geam, am o groapă de gunoi la nici un kilometru distanță, care nu e groapă, e munte. Deci e efectiv munte. Nu vreți să știți ce mirosuri. Da, în orice caz, da.
in a stream. But the reason this pile of trash is so incredible is not so much what it is, but where. Let's do a little bit of role play for a moment. Imagine you're someone on a road trip in Cyberpunk 2077, heading down this road with a bag or two of trash that you need to get rid of, and let's pretend you don't care about the environment at all, but you do care about being seen looking like you don't care about the environment. So what are you going to do? You're going to look for the nearest pull-off, pull over, and then just throw all your stuff into the creek where no one will see it. People in Cyberpunk drive on the right side of the road, so you'll pull over here, park on the right side of the road, and then walk up to the nearest edge of the creek to dump your trash. And this is exactly where CD Projekt Red put all of the trash bags. They didn't just put them randomly around. They didn't put them on the left side of the bridge. They didn't have them piled up in the middle. They're exactly where they would be if this was a real world with real people littering in a stream. It's one thing to put extra thoughtfulness into the details that people will actually be expected to look at, but to put extra thoughtfulness into something like this just blows my mind. That's why I did that thing where I pretended my mind was exploding. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this little stream. Let's keep walking. Heading further north and inching closer to Night City itself brings us up this road and past a weird little party that's happening with no music. Figured I'd just show you that for a moment.
Beautiful day, huh?
It's just kind of charming, I feel like. But that's not what we're here to look at. The actual place we're going to go is just across the road.
Scurtă pauză. Ok. Ne-am întors. Ah. Mai mănânci când mai apuci. Din când în când. Cam târziu, da. Dar e bine și așa. Da, să continuăm, zic, nu? Hai că acum putem să tragem asta mai aproape. Să mi se audă vocea mai bine. Să mi se aude vocea. Da, ok.
This place is incredible. We are underneath the solar panels in a giant solar energy plant. It's a forest of concrete and rare earth elements as far as the eye can see, and we are totally free to just walk around underneath it without restriction. Much like the giant industrial farm that we looked at earlier, this is a great representation of another thing that makes Cyberpunk so seriously notable. Massive scale infrastructure that is of no utility to the player. In a recent video, I spent some time talking about airport design in Grand Theft Auto 5, and I made an offhand comment about how no one would want a game with a realistically sized airport because it would take up half the map. Funnily enough, if you look at Cyberpunk's map, the amount of space taken up by this solar energy plant combined with the agricultural plant that we just looked at is nearly as much space as the size of the entire
Ia uite, mă, s-au gândit până și la treaba asta. Deci cât spațiu neexploatat, nu?
city, so I guess I was wrong. I don't know that I've ever seen a game do this before. Create appropriately proportioned utility infrastructure that's accessible to the player and doesn't seem to serve any function other than being there for world building. It's insane behavior to spend that much time creating spaces this large only to have them remain totally in the background as props.
Nu chiar, nu știu dacă sunt doar de recuzită. Eu cred că le-au făcut ca și concept să ajute pe viitorii investitori ai unor orașe să ia în calcul treaba asta și să vadă cam cum ar putea fi. E un mini simulator, acum, nu? Hai să zicem așa.
I just love it. And I love that we can walk around here. I highly recommend you do so. Now, at this point, we're pretty much ready to enter Night City itself, and we're going to do so on a little side road so that we can stop off in the
Hai că am pe secție aici. Da, am un câine. Care e? Hai. Se cere afară. Poate într-o zi o să stea să o iau în brațe să vă arăt. Dar să o arăt că vă ar însemna să fie mai mulți. Deocamdată sunt doar eu.
outer neighborhood of Rancho Coronado, or as they say in Cyberpunk, Rancho Coronado. I always liked Rancho Coronado because compared to a lot of the rest of the game, it felt weirdly familiar. It could almost pass as a city I might have lived in at one point, and it's here that we find our next stop on this tour. Residential backyards. Much like Grand Theft Auto 5, the backyards in Cyberpunk 2077 are extremely liminal. Nobody ever hangs out in them, they're always weirdly cramped, and generally they have nothing in them at all. A few exceptions to that rule include this backyard, which has some lazy boy chairs in a perfect spot to get dripped on by this window unit air conditioner. The poor people of Cyberpunk apparently still do not have central AC, even though it's, what, 50 years from now? Whatever. This blue house next door to that has one of my favorite backyards in a video game ever. Check this out. What in the fuck are they doing back here? Is this real? I think I would have to do an entire 20-minute video just about this house to figure out what's going on here. Where's Grady when you need him? This is probably the most detailed backyard in the neighborhood. It has a pool, some beach chairs, and a beach umbrella with what looks like some kind of UV light bars under it, which kind of defeats the purpose of an umbrella, but you know, hey, people in Cyberpunk do all sorts of crazy stuff. And then lastly, there's this backyard, which I just wanted to show you because it has a really strange bump in it. This might literally be the only bump like this on the entire map. Kind of just looks like a mistake, but please do not patch it out. CD Projekt Red, please leave it, please.
Nu cred că a fost o greșeală.
If you make Cyberpunk 2 in the same map, like Breath of the Wild, this bump better still be here. I'm gonna be pissed. Also, in Rancho Coronado is the next place I want to show you, and I have to prepare you guys. I am obsessed with this location. This location that you're about to see, this is not the last that you're gonna see of this location on this YouTube channel. I promise. And yes, that's a threat. Pizza shop title.
Ah,
Welcome to Pie Z, or possibly Pies, an incredible, overstimulating pizza chain in Cyberpunk 2077. The first thing you notice when you walk into this place is the noise. There are 10 TVs on
Oh, no,
full
no, no,
volume
no,
playing
no,
10
no,
different
no.
things at any given time in this pizza shop, from sexual advertisements
No.
to news conferences to
Ugh.
crime reports to political debates. It's insane. But on top of that, you've got bugs, garbage, a wall of pizza ovens, crazy purple and gold aesthetic. Nobody's eating pizza. They're just drinking coffee. They tried to serve this lady French fries and she got so mad that it wasn't coffee, she threw them on the ground. It's just an absolute nightmare in here. The only spot in the entire place to get a break from the overstimulation is the second stall in the bathroom. This is not a joke, I spent 3 hours in here the other day and it wasn't enough. I want to be locked in this
What?
building for 24 straight hours to see what it would do to my brain. Incredible. But we have to move on.
Ce? De ce ai vrea să faci asta?
Now we've got to double back a bit to show you the next spot on our trip, which is the stadium near Coast View. This is a classic type of spot that we like to look at here on the channel because it's the back of a gigantic structure that no one is supposed to look at, and those are always cool and weird. But aside from being cool and weird, there's also a very subtle and impressive detail hidden right beneath our feet. You notice all this sand? Here's a question for you. Where does sand come from? Well, just like most
Serios, ai dat pe Google? Păi cum, sunt scoicile pisate care apa le tot frământă și ajungi să fie nisip.
sand,
Și, mă rog, oase, calcificate, lucruri, chestii, știi? Pietre mărunte șlefuite de-a lungul. Deci, da, aluviuni care se macină.
comes from there being sand, and then the sand that there is blows from where the sand is to where the sand wasn't, which puts the sand where it will be, which in this case is right here. It blows from places is what I'm trying to say. Now notice how this sand is all gathered up on the south face of the stadium, and that just so happens to be the face of the stadium that faces out towards the desert. Hello? Who's doing this? Who's putting these details in this game? What's crazy about all the stuff we've looked at so far is that we have barely scratched the surface of these types of incredible little places in Cyberpunk 2077, and despite the fact that I have 3 more places to show you, I'm leaving out literally hundreds of other spots. This video could probably be 4 hours long, and if I had more than 2 weeks to put together a video, maybe it would be. It probably still wouldn't though, because I get distracted and I want to do other things. Oh well. Next up, we're heading into the main business hub of Night City, Corpo Plaza. This is the place with huge skyscrapers, suffocating aesthetics, and uncharacteristically clean streets. Much like a real downtown that's been overfunded by corporations, it has these little nooks of dead space that nobody has figured out a use for. Places that feel like you're trespassing, but you're not because nobody actually cares about them, like this little space between one of the office buildings and the safety barrier, or this weird little public park thing that nobody really uses, or this row of abandoned porta potties. But my personal favorite of all the strange areas around here are these weird little brain relaxation boxes with trees and these bird sounds playing in them. No NPC ever comes inside of these, but you can go, and it's kind of peaceful but kind of weird. They have these doors that you can open, but they're always blocked, so you can't actually go through them. This one just opens up into a wall. I don't know, it's weird. I'm not sure how I never noticed these before. So there you go. Continuing north out of the city
De ce ai face asta?
center, we end up on one of the bridges over the canals into Little China. And what we're going to do is swan dive off of the bridge here into the water and then up onto this little garbage beach.
Ok, o insulă de mizerie.
All along the main canals that separate the different neighborhoods in Night City, you can find spots like this, usually full of garbage, but always feeling really disconnected from the rest of the game, kind of like you're taking a peek backstage and seeing how the sausage is made. Only in this sense, I guess this is still the sausage because it was put here by the developers, same as everything else, so the metaphor doesn't really work. One cool detail about this particular spot is the placement of the trash, kind of a running theme in this video. I wonder if I could do a whole video all about just the trash in Cyberpunk. Definitely could. Anyway, notice how on this side of the canal there's no trash, and on this side there is trash. The side with no trash is the rich, hyper-corporate side, and the
Ok.
other side is the less rich, run-down side. It's a very subtle detail, but it's a cool little world-building bit. I also just want to take a moment to really appreciate the trash texture in this game. It's just got a really cool mix of miscellaneous metallic objects that all somehow simultaneously look like every appliance I've ever seen, while also being totally unrecognizable. I haven't seen a trash texture this good since Clanker's Cavern in Banjo-Kazooie.
Clanker's Cavern. Nici nu știu ce joc e ăsta.
Wow, we have really made a lot
Wow! Ia, ai deviat. You've gone far.
of progress so far, haven't we? From all the way down here at the border, up here through the farms, over to the creek, and then up to the solar panels and the houses and the pizza shop and the stadium and the city center. We are almost out the other side of the city, but we have one more stop along the way to make before we get there, and it is incredible.
Ia.
The Arasaka waterfront. Most of the
Arasaka.
area around the Arasaka waterfront is
Arasaka Waterfront.
locked off from the player, but if you take the time to swim out and around from the
Nu știu de ce am zis asta. N-avea nicio legătură cu ceea ce... Adică a zis-o el 2 ori. A trebuit să mai zic și încă o dată. Aia e. Se mai întâmplă.
south, which does take a while because swimming in this game is really slow, you can reach this spot with a giant red pipe. Follow that pipe up, and eventually you can drop down onto this little garbage beach that looks out towards the Pacific Ocean. A lot of garbage beaches in this game. You know, there are 1,000 things that make video games such an intimate, diverse, and meaningful form of art, but I think finding a little spot like this, especially one that probably wasn't really meant to be accessed, is one of my favorite things. But it gets even better. Actually, it gets way better, actually. So check this out. You're gonna need the double jump skill to do this, but if you jump from this pipe onto this street lamp and then run and jump onto this catwalk, you can gain access to the entire
Ooh.
fully abandoned Arasaka waterfront shipping yard. This was not a place that was intentionally put
Okay.
here to be accessed by the player, and there is absolutely no one here. Just shipping crates and super sterile industrial port equipment, giant long docks with nothing on them, creepy little rooms through the
Ce-l face, mă, pe ăsta să facă lucruri de genul ăsta? Deci, ce ai vrea să te duci într-un loc unde... Cred că asta e și de fapt și întrebarea. De ce nu? Hai să fac asta. Hai să mă duc într-un loc unde nu ar fi trebuit să merg în jocul ăsta. Să văd cum e. Să văd de ce.
buildings.
Făceam de fapt și o chestie asta în GTA. Da, în San Andreas în special. Și în GTA 5. Da.
There's this weird smoke that comes from nowhere and follows me as I turn my head. And then my favorite object here, and one of my favorite objects in the entire game,
Da.
is Gargantuan Orb. I've talked about it
Ooh.
a million times before, and I will a million times after, but I really love it when a game developer isn't overly precious with their less polished sections of a game world. I like when I'm allowed to take an hour to walk through a boring, empty place that was mostly meant to serve as set dressing to look at from far away. I
Da.
want to be able to get lost in the middle of nowhere, and I don't feel cheated when there's nothing to do. I mean, look at this. It's a long, empty road leading nowhere. A frozen shipping port with no signs of life. This whole area has such a weird backstage vibe to it, and I feel privileged to be able to show it to you. Now, the only problem is, once you're up here, it's kind of hard to get out because you weren't supposed to get here. Your only option really is to jump into the ocean and start swimming back to shore, which takes forever, but I guess that's what we're gonna have to do. Swimming from the Arasaka waterfront north eventually leads us onto a beach and then up onto a road. Taking a left on this road is going to take us to our final stop on this journey and one of my
Care
favorite
este?
types of places in a video game. A forever
forever.
road.
Un drum la infinit?
This is a term that I just came up with right now, so let me explain. There are lots of ways for an open world game to do boundaries. In Grand Theft Auto, it's usually with water. Some games use mountains or walls. A lot of games use
Okay.
invisible walls. And some games, like Cyberpunk, use a warning system. See how if I try to go out this way, the game tells me to stop, and then if I don't stop, it just zaps me back in the other direction? That's a warning system. It's not a hard wall. It kind of lets you go, but then it prevents you. Invisible walls and warning
Uh-huh.
systems can take a lot of different forms, but my favorite form platform is the Forever Road. Now, this is a road that extends into the distance beyond the sight of the character, never to be explored by the player. Forever Roads do such a good job of creating the feeling that there really might be something out there, something beyond the edge of the map. After all, this
Da,
road
da, da,
must
da,
go
da, da.
somewhere, right?
Exact,
Letting us
da.
walk right up to the edge and look out into the distance really helps sell the illusion
Și
that this game is
ai ajuns acolo.
set within a wider world. The first time I remember seeing something like this was in Fallout New Vegas, but I would love to make a video on them. So if you know of any other games with these Forever Roads, please post them down below. Now,
Cred că Gothic, să mă gândesc, oare avea o chestie de genul ăsta? Când te lăsa, parcă te trimitea înapoi. Asemănător, dar nu chiar.
one interesting thing about this spot in Cyberpunk is that no cars ever drive up here. Because of the way the game handles spawning traffic, you can only see cars if you walk a little ways back towards Night City, but if you get too close to the barrier, they just stop spawning entirely. No matter what time of day it is or how long you wait, even the NPCs don't bother to come up here unless they absolutely have to. It's a desolate place that almost feels like the credits to a movie. You know, you look up at that sign, now leaving Night City. You've almost escaped from the chaos. The normal world might just be out there yet, but you can't get to it because you're not allowed. I'm Annie Austin. Thanks for watching, and thank you for letting me take you on this journey. I actually do appreciate it because I really liked it. I'm Annie Austin. Thanks for watching.
Da, nice. Altceva. Hai să mai vedem și alte lucruri. How Charlie Puth creates his iconic baseline. I inspect... Ok. Ultimul semn trimis de Maica Domnului. Aha. Unused territories. Nu. Dacă aveți vreo idee la ce să ne uităm, eu sunt deschis. Da, chiar sunt deschis la... Și tu tot recorder, mă, tot din astea, băi, toată lumea. Witcher Logic. Ok. Oare mai iau jocuri? Mi-au plăcut ăștia, chiar m-au făcut să râd. Data trecută am râs tare de tot. Bine, a și fost momentul probabil, da? Hey, make. Ok, Damasc. Hai să vedem. Ok. Să vedem asta. Aha. Viva la Dirt League. Sunt numai Tech Town, Fireheart, Epic NPC Man compilation, ok. Da, nu sunt. Oare au playlisturi? Survival. Da, nu. Trebuie să îmi dea cu recomandare. Uite, au foarte multe. Tech Town compilation. Dar nu cunosc jocul ăla. Mă gândeam că poate recunosc vreun joc. Dacă nu cunosc jocul, Witcher Logic. Season 2. Aha. Ăsta îl știu, da. Am văzut Season 1, să zic. Ok. Ok. Hai să vedem.
You guys excited for the new campaign?
Oh man, I've got such a good feeling about this one.
I know, I'm so looking forward to a proper D&D campaign. Right the way from level 1 to level 20!
Boy, boy. Okay, here.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Neother Phantasma, elvish wizard and sworn protector of the Blood Ring.
Oh, very nice.
I am Hosk, the human bard. Abandoned at sea as an infant, I find my way to the shores of Icrian, where I journey to find my family, or what's left of them.
Oh, mhm.
Ooh, okay. I am Abraeus, a wood elf druid, abandoned by my mother and raised in the woods. Then the forest was burned down by trolls, and I swore revenge.
Ok, da,
Alan,
da.
what about you, man?
Hi. I'm Poop McDinglefop.
Aoleu. Oh, ce mă atenționează, stai. Mamă. Da. Am râs. Ah. Mhm. Ok. Sper să nu-mi dea jos ăștia, că nu știu de unde au folosit coloana sonoră. S-ar putea să-mi dea jos YouTube-ul după aia. Da, nu, eu mă simt bine. Deci, chiar go with the flow. De data asta e having a nice evening. Da, deci, încă o dată. Pardon.
Hi. I'm Poop McDinglefop. A human fighter of the 69th Order.
No, Alan, you're meant to be taking this seriously, man.
I am taking this seriously.
God damn it, Alan.
Who is this Alan? I'm sorry, are you telling me that because my name just so happens to be Poop McDinglefop that I am incapable of taking this seriously? Oops, excuse me.
Yes, Alan, that's exactly what we're saying.
How dare you? How dare all of you? The McDinglefops have a long...
Dar cred că știu ce pot să fac. Ca să nu primim ban sau ceva de genul ăsta, cred că o să deschid un instrument ca să pot să cânt eu peste și să nu primesc ban sau ceva. Adică, mă rog, ban. Uite, o muscă. Hai să vedem dacă funcționează. Trebuie să facem niște atenționare. Am mai primit o atenționare. Restricțiile, ok. Creștem vârsta... Deci iar începe cu crește vârsta minimă. Da, e ok. Am... Din nou chat-uri, super chat, comentarii, ok, notificări. Da, e ok. E ok. Da. Sunt bine pe partea cu nu e pentru copii. Am selectat nu e pentru copii. Iar îmi zice. Așa, și ca să facem, nu știu, hai să punem un... Să vedem asta. Nu. Un pad, ceva mai un fel... organ. Additive organ. E prea pipirichiu tutucucu. Abyss Pad. Ia. Perfect. Nu se oprește ăsta, e continuu. E prea mult. Additive. Chiar vreau un pad. Soft. Ceva soft. Așa, un analog fade. Da. Așa. Ca să nu... Cred că e ok. Fluffy. Hai să-l vedem și. Shimmer. Wormifier. Nu, Wormifier era ok. Gata, asta e. Nu e asta, că îl ține mult, prea mult. Ok. Și... Oh, pardon. Big Layer Cinematica. Brass, soft assemble, yeah. Nu știu, chat, zi și tu. Ok, mergem pe asta. E ok. Pare ok. Bun. Hai.
Long and proud history built upon the sacrifice of my people through the blood of the McDingles. Are your lands kept safe?
No, we're not doing this. He has to roll a new character.
We can't get him to create a new character. We don't have time.
No. I refuse to do a campaign with Poop McDinglefart. Oh, he can't do this, can he?
Technically, he has full control over his own character.
Da.
As long as he doesn't disrupt the session.
Sweet Neatha, I know that we haven't gotten off on the best foot. Heck, the Phantasmos and the McDinglefarts have a long-standing blood feud that predates the Second Cataclysm. But perhaps we could put that behind us. Perhaps we could even be friends.
No, there is no way I'll ever be able to take McDinglefart seriously, and there's absolutely no way we'll ever be friends.
Da, de ce?
You are gonna ruin this campaign.
Ok.
You must let me go.
Trebuie să-mi dai drumul. Ok.
No, I won't leave you. We must leave. The volcano's about to erupt.
Listen to me, Neatha. You must save yourself. You're the only one that matters.
No, I can't do this without you.
You can. But you must.
Tot primesc Ok, ce mai are? Atenționări, peste atenționări, peste atenționări. Da, eu înțeleg că sunt atenționările astea, dar și că a fost util... Nu. Nu vreau. Că mă întrerupeți de la streaming și am impresia că fac ceva greșit.
I know it's hard, but you must leave poop.
Excuse me.
Eu must leave.
of us.
However, promise me you'll live a good life.
I will. And long will I sing the praises.
Câtă dramă! Nici nu e inspirat după Lord of the Rings.
Of House McDinglefart.
Thank you,
Thank you.
friend.
Ce sunt?
Ellen, can you stock the shelves, please?
They are
Da,
stocked.
ok.
That one's not.
Where did that one come from? Oh, what the hell? What are you doing, man?
Ron, it's that guy again, but this time he's pretending to be a shelf.
Ellen, I don't want to hear it, mate.
Ron, weren't you suspicious at all when a random shelf appeared in the middle of the store?
Are you talking about that empty shelf?
It's not a shelf, Rowan.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. Shut up.
Ellen, stop talking to the shelf and stock the shelf.
It's not a shelf, Rowan. It's that same guy. He's trying to rob
I
us
don't want
again.
excuses. I want stocked shelves.
Ron, this is ridiculous. Please just...
I shouldn't be able to hear
Digga,
you
digga, digga.
talking over the sound of shelves being stocked.
Stocking shelves isn't that loud, Ron.
Bish bosh, clink clunk.
Is that your impersonation of a shelf being stocked?
It's pretty good.
Thank you. Bish bosh, shush shush.
Yes. Yes, finally.
No, you know what? No. I'm not going to do this.
Oh, outrageous. That's a product. You're a stockist. I'm a shelf. It works.
It doesn't work. This isn't going to work.
Da, o să ignor. Dacă mi închide pe YouTube, asta e. Nu mai pas. Îmi tot pun atenționări. Eu nu știu ce vor să-mi zică cu asta, că practic nu fac nimic. Am de pistat, probabil au depistat ei ceva. Ce-or fi depistat? Nu știu.
Work.
Come on, man. Isn't this something you do like every day? How many shelves have you stocked?
Way too many.
So what's one more?
I don't know, man. This just feels like... This feels too much.
Listen, dude, I get it. The grind is real. Stock me. But you just gotta keep going. You know? Stack one box on top of the other. Live life one shelf at a time. You know what I'm saying? Just...
Bă, da, ce am nimerit astea?
Well, that was really uninspiring, what you just said.
So why can't you just stock this shelf?
Because there's a man inside of it.
You know what? You're right. I'm just a man inside of a shelf waiting to be stocked. Stock me.
You're insane.
Ellen, stock the damn shelf.
I hate both of you so much. Fine. I'll stock the shelf.
Yes. Yes!
Da, deci streaming-ul a fost blocat. De ce? Streaming-ul a fost blocat, dar nu mă lasă, deci nu știu. Stream unavailable. Oleu. Ok, hai să înțeleg că nu mă lasă. Nu e nicio problemă. Ce să zic? Asta e. Poate o să mă uit singur atunci. Ce mă, am folosit niște Mm. Da, nu știu. Da, ia chiar așa oare am. Oare am activat? Opa. Nu. Whoops. Here. I meant here. Oh, da, mi-a dat drumul. Ok, a dat drumul, da? Să dau de pe game. Mă gândesc că poate asta afectează ceva. Ar trebui să pun ăsta să-l editez. Gestionează aici. Mamam. Nu? Așa. Să-l editez. Așa, select. Nu. Mai multe. Etichetă, nu. Punem limba titlului. Ok, licență YouTube Standard. Creative Commons Attribution. Nu știu ce e asta, Creative Commons Attribution. Nu știu ce e, nu știu. Jocuri video, aici, da. Deci în loc de jocuri video o să punem oameni și blocuri. Mama. Atunci ar trebui să fie ok. Nu? Poate că așa o să mă las în pace. Văd că a revenit. Deci lucrurile sunt la normal. Să vedem dacă în continuare, dacă dau ăsta, o să mai primesc vreun strike din asta sau nu știu ce e, o avertizare, mi-a oprit stream. Nu știu.
You're making this man a very happy shelf. Yeah. Your boxes are so heavy on the shelf. Slide it.
Don't make this more weird, man.
I'm not making it weird. I'm making it natural. Is that it? Am I fully stocked?
Yeah, you're stopped.
Hey. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Ce facem? Ce?
Yeah.
Ia.
Thank you.
Iar a fost blocat? Iar a fost blocat. Da. Deci nu ne lasă pe ăsta. Ok. Ce să zic? Îl lăsăm deoparte și venim și noi aici la home pe Twitch. Poate găsim ceva interesant pe aici. No, măcar am făcut cele 4 zile de streaming. Am atins 15,7 ore din cele 4 pe lună. N-am atins minimul de 3 average viewers on 4 different days. Deci, no, în 4 zile diferite. Și n-am nici pe departe 25 de followeri. Vroiam să văd cam pe unde mă aflu în... Da, ar mai fi trebuit unul. Era, da. Da, aia e. What can I say? I cannot say nothing. Nothing at all. Okay. H, back to Twitch, H.
But like, I get so irritated playing because everyone just takes all my stuff. I join in a public server and everything's gone. No comment. Roblox!
Aoleu, ce mi-a spart urechea. Ok. Încă sunt unavailable pe YouTube. Live music, la. Ok. Frumos din partea lor. Ghost of Yotei. Ia, în music cine e acum? Chiar sunt curios. Wow. 1100. 1100. The Big Day. Song Battle. New Music Friday Time. Probabil că au ceva împreună. Bun, a repornit streamingul pe YouTube. Ja.
Ist doch so, Schatz. Ist doch so. Wir müssen uns wieder einen neuen Actionfilm anschauen.
Ah, okay, Dutch.
Ja, sie sagt, sie liebt es, wenn sie sich auf die Fresse hauen. Ey, was willst du mehr? Irgendwann mal schleppe ich dich in einen richtigen MMA-Kampf, ey. Das müssen wir uns mal an.
Aici New Music. New Music. Whoa.
The new Osama-san.
Oh boy.
Psychotic.
What is happening? Okay. So I don't know.
Here, wait, time.
No, why? I don't quite. I don't know. Not my style. What can I say? Not my style at all. Some guys, no, not just chatting. No, look at this one. Big day, huge drama. Reacts. Hey, pet, dead stress. What? What is this? Why do they have so many views?
Il arrive et genre apparemment ils sont venus dans le box. C'est ce qu'il m'a raconté.
C'est des vrais contrôles surprises.
3 contrôleurs. Il pose des questions un peu louches. Il est en mode au début, ah ouais, bizarre et tout. Il dit, alors, le gars a dit, début du contrôle, 15h45. Et là, il fait quoi? Et là, t'es mort, tu peux plus reculer. Moi, le mec, je l'aurais sorti du box, j'aurais mis un chassé.
Ah, frérot, de base, c'est le début d'un prank, hein, normalement, ces situations-là. Mais là, c'était.
What is happening?
C'était vrai, frérot. Et moi, je pense que c'est prémédité par Squeezie.
Ah non, mais oui, mais Squeezie avait aucun autre moyen de nous faire tomber que comme ça. Il sait très bien qu'on est des petits pirates et voilà. Il voulait nous faire tomber.
Exactement.
Et elle est rentrée dans notre tête, hein.
Je pense que c'était prémédité de la part de Squeezie.
Honteux,
c'est honteux. Et je pense que c'était un moyen aussi de je pense qu'il a des parts.
So this is Red Diffusion.
Le plus gros fraudeur fiscal.
Oh boy. Okay. Sabaton. Like, I just don't get it. Like, for real. Music is so. I mean, I bet this or this or I don't know, true singers, like this one. We vibe on Fridays. So just listen to this guy if he sings right now. I don't.
How you doing? Good to see ya. Welcome into the stream. Welcome if you just joined us, chat. Hello. My name is Mr. Simon. No, my name is Leon. Hi. Hello. Hello there. Happy weekend. Sorry, chat. I'm just coming back from that zone that I was in there.
What you doing? Musician singing acoustic indie music rock. Right. So.
Michael Caine. That's not my name. Michael Caine, bruv. Another one. I've been lurking because cooking. I'm nearly finished now. Very nice. Very nice.
So this guy.
Ooh, Invisible Llama. Let's go. I didn't know you streamed. Hello there. Visible Rays. Brilliant. Welcome in, chat. Good to see ya. My name is Leon Brett, singer-songwriter, loop pedal artist from the UK. Hi there. Welcome in. Welcome. It's the Visible Raid. Yes, Dag. How you doing? Good to see ya. How was the stream, Invisible Llama? What did you get up to?
What is happening?
Did you do? Ori and the Blind Forest, was that? What is this? What is this? Oh, hi. I don't take responsibility for any raid calls. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. You're just like, here's a raid, but just like, there's nothing to do with me, all right? It's nothing to do with me at all. I removed myself from the situation. I'm sorry, Invisible Llama, but it's all your responsibility, okay? It's all your responsibility. Doing well, glad the weekend's here. Nice. Got alert yet? No worries. All good. Good to see you though, chat. Welcome in. Understand if you got to raid and run or do the things. That's all good. No worries. How about a Style Swap Saturday stream? Your choice of style to swap to. What you just did was epic. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, do you know what? I was actually thinking about the Style Swap Saturdays, literally before we went live today.
Okay.
Because we've got loads of stuff to do from the subathon, but I know that's all been like pushed back a little bit, just because of like having a baby and stuff. Although I can hear him screaming at the moment. Buffy, are you in stream?
Who is Buffy?
Can I come grab the baby and show chat? Just while he's screaming his head off. Maybe he might calm down a minute. Don't blame the baby. I'm not blaming the baby, no. I'm blaming myself within the situation of having a newborn baby. What? You don't ever done that for?
Well.
It's just like, look at him and just go, a lot has changed. A lot's changed since you arrived, buddy. Don't shake the baby. No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's your poor planning, the skills of planning a baby. That's true. That's true. Damn it, chat. It only takes 30 seconds, doesn't it? It's a whole lifetime of child. 30 seconds. That's it. That's it. What a scam. What a scam. I'm joking. Right, let me go see if the baby is ready to make an appearance. And I'll be back. And then we'll play... Are we playing Coming Undone yet, the old man? The old man, are you Coming Undone yet? Or am I playing something else? Oh no, I was going to do Prayer of the Refugee next. That long? I know, it's pretty good, isn't it? That's a record, that is. 30 seconds. Hope baby and everyone's doing well. We're doing all right, thank you, Invisible. Yeah, we're doing all right. It's a lot though, isn't it? It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. We're 8 weeks in. It feels like it's been 8 years. Definitely my record.
Oh boy.
We're working on babies. You were quite lucky, I guess.
You have no idea.
We're very lucky that we have Marley. Yes. We're very lucky that we have Marley. However, it's not the first attempt that we've had. We've had, this is our 5th pregnancy.
Okay.
So yeah, we were trying for about 2 years before it clicked. Like the science did the thing. So yeah, I would say that we're lucky to have
science.
Marley. We're blessed to have him, but we are very unlucky in terms of like how like the stuff that we went through to get to this point. So yeah, it's a lot. It was pretty shit actually. We had a really shitty couple years in that respect. But on the other hand, well, with that being said, even not many people talk about miscarriages.
Well.
It's quite like a taboo subject, which is weird. So weird.
Why?
Huh? Why? Why do people not talk about that? It's crazy.
Yeah. Like really,
yeah,
like
and
why?
There just doesn't seem to be like much support for especially for women, you know. There doesn't seem to be that much support. It's like quite. It seems like quite
Well,
frowned upon.
you
to have
haven't
a miscarriage and
go
go through that. It's
where
like, what? It's science,
support
right?
is
It's science.
offered.
It's like, why do people not talk about it? It's crazy for like something that you're losing a child. You are losing a family member. Like, you grieve when you lose family members. Why would you not have space to grieve that? That's crazy. It makes no sense. So yeah, it's madness. It's weird in this day and age. It's strange. It's so strange. Sorry to hear that. My cousin had a similar experience, but finally everything worked out. Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough to go through. It really is tough. It's absolutely adorable. Thank you, Chuckle Buttons. Thank you so much. Thank you, chat. I appreciate it. Apparently a massive horse. Yeah. Don't dwell on the past. It wasn't meant to be, so it wasn't. No, that's true. That's very, very true. It's really good that you talk about it openly. My sister has been trying for a few years, a few miscarriages and a failed round of IVF so far. Yeah, it's hard. It is really, really hard. And like, we got to a point where every scan that we went to, we're just expecting bad news. So we go there in like a bad mood. Not in a bad mood, but like with like this overarching like cloud that we go into the hospital with. It's like, oh, we're going to get bad news. It's just like what we expect. But then like as we got good news with Marley, like every single time it was like, holy shit, oh my god. Oh my god, but he's still there? He's still in there? Oh, he's definitely a boy. Oh yes.
Whoa.
So yeah, it was a lot. It's been a lot. But we're in the next phase now, the next chapter. So anyone else who's out there who's dealt with miscarriages and stuff, we love you. You are supported as much as you think that you're not. You actually are. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
I want my dinner. Was that? You had your dinner already? What are you shouting you want your dinner for? Hey, this is the big baby. This is the big baby. Yeah, you're a big baby. Yay! Hello, Benj. Careful. Oh, really? Hello there. Hello. Right. Wow, you've got some energy, haven't you? Yeah, you've got some energy. You're going to do zoomies. About to do some big old zoomies. Gonna do zoomies. Actually, no, I probably shouldn't wind you up. I shouldn't wind you up.
Whoa.
I shouldn't wind you up.
That's so cool.
I'm winding him up. Why am I doing that? Yeah. Sorry. It's him.
Such a nice studio. Whoa, big dreads. Okay.
I'll get some treats in a minute.
Whoop. Here's the baby.
Here's Molly. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Who's that? Hey, who's that? Who's that? Go there. You say hello. Wow. Hey.
Nice.
You know, wave. Say hello. Hello. When did Molly get so big? He's gone crazy, hasn't he? Hey. He's only 8 weeks.
Wow. 8 weeks? That's a big boy. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Yeah, so cute. So cute. Aww. Oh. So we have
Look at this
3
chat. Future
boys.
Blue Jays player. Future Blue Jays player. He's ready, chat. He's ready. He is ready. Can this just be stream? Yes. Can I borrow him? I swear he could lay on your forearm a minute ago. He could. I mean, he still can. Just about. Can't now. Hang on. Go that way first. That way. Hey. Just about, though. Hi. Hey. Do that. Leave it.
Yeah.
He's got eyebrows and everything. He's got eyebrows. I can see both you and Buffy and him. Thank you, Lauren. Let's go. Is he going to teach me how to kick a baseball? Yes. All right then, mate. Ever drawn eyebrows on Benji? No. No. Right, should we go and see Mummy? He started smiling now as well, chat. I'll see if I can get a smile out of him. One sec. There's a lot of lights going on there at the moment.
Eight weeks.
Hey. Hi. Hello. What are you doing? Is that even like in focus? Out of focus, yeah, it's that. It's that. Hang on.
Yeah, okay.
It's a bit of an awkward angle, chat. I'll have to get a photo of it. Hey. How you doing? How you doing? It's going the wrong way. He's going the wrong way. Make him smile, not cry. What are you doing? What are you playing about at? Eh? Oops, it went the wrong way, chat. What are you doing? Hey? There's Uncle Pyro. Uncle Longway. Hey? You gonna say bye? Say bye-bye. Say bye. Really? He's like going through it this weekend, isn't he? Oh, you got a treat here, mate. Excuse me. Where's your manners? Good boy. JJ's fault. Yeah, he loves these. JJ, he loves these way too much. Oi, no. Wait your turn.
Okay.
Second box we bought. Is it? Benji, wait. Okay. Yeah, good boy. My turn to get love. My parents bought me in Tesco, and they always kept the box in the attic so they could send me back if I was naughty. There you go. Okay. All right then, chat. Let's go. Prayer of the Refugee up next for Figgy Tinglefoot. Let's go. Let's get it. You can join him in here.
Oh boy. Why would you go and stream like this? It's not OnlyFans, you know?
Warned you go through a box every week. Yeah, cheers, mate. Yo, Chris, how you doing? Good to see ya. Hey, dog. Superstar DJ. Here we go. Right, Prayer of the Refugee. Let's go. Manuel, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Thank you very much for the Prime sub for 54
This
months.
is
That's ridiculous. That is huge.
Oh boy.
Thank you so much. How you doing, man? Don't hold me up now. So I believe with this song that there's like a couple of different tempos. Is that right? Warm yourself by the fire, son. The morning will come soon. And it goes. Don't hold me up now. I get there now. But we can't do that on the loop pedal. We can't do two separate things. So we're gonna try and have a slower chorus but a faster verse. All right. Love expressed with bits and baby love. Dog on a baby and they were lovely waifu. You're close to heaven on earth. Let's go, McMarty. Let's go. Very blessed. Very, very blessed. Oh, we want a zone? Yes, I got you. A zone with the scones.
Yep. Here's a tired dad.
Oh, that's not right, is it? And then we've got the bridge. Let's be on our way. Broken windows and ashes are got in the way. Okay, let's go. Pedal? No.
Ok. Com'era? Ok, înțeleg acum. Da.
This is gonna sound a bit weird for a second, chat. Maybe not. Yeah. Internet seems to be working more or less, but the electricity went out, which is funny. Oh, that's annoying. That is super annoying.
Da, ne jucăm, da, ok. Deci asta face băiatul ăsta, am înțeles acum.
We're nearly there. Nearly there. This one takes a little while to get set up. Too much reverb. Too much reverb.
Da, fain.
That's so quick. Go on, long way. Give it some, mate.
Băi, da, e interesant, frumușel.
not the one requested. Or pick a style to swap to for each individual request. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good idea actually, Bryson. So the queue is chosen by people as normal, but like say this one's gonna be a 50s soul version.
Oh boy.
This one's gonna be a rap version. I get it. Yeah, I like that. Okay, a very fast verse, chat. That's alright. Until I can't keep up with the words.
Да.
Warm yourself by the fire, son. The morning will come soon. So quick, I'll tell you stories of a better time.
No. Ok. Ce mai urmărim? Păi, iau o scurtă pauză. Da. Foarte frumos. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ok. Cred că închid streaming-ul aici. Și ne vedem pe data viitoare. Cât este ceasul? Da, uite, este aproape de 12. Deja sunt un pic obosit. N-am avut nici astăzi prea mult succes, dar poate data viitoare succes. Mă rog, succes eu am în fiecare zi. N-am intrat cu așteptări și nici nu mă gândeam că o să fie ceva. Chiar nu asta căutam. Chiar am vrut să mă simt bine, m-am simțit bine, este ok. M-a deraiat puțin faptul că, uite, YouTube-ul nu m-a lăsat să mă simt bine și mi-a închis streaming-ul pe YouTube pentru o perioadă. Ceea ce, nu, asta este, nu este mare problemă. Se mai întâmplă. Pe data viitoare. Pa!